All right. Well, I think this is sort of working, but I've got to, you must forgive me here for a moment while I fix this. I thought what I would like to do is do some sketchbooking, and I need to fix the title of the video. But this book, you may have seen this book floating around. It's a Chuck Lukács, I think is that. He's actually got two of these books, and it's a book you could like get at Michael's. I really love his art style, but what it is it's a way to come up with an amazing list of things to try and draw in your sketchbook, mostly animals and monsters. And I thought that might be fun to do here. However, I've got to retitle this video, or let's see. I don't know if it'll let me do it. Oh, there we go. I can upload the thumbnail. If I go and I look in pictures, there's my Fantasy Genesis. Boom. Save. Okay. So the way this works is you roll dice. You can see D&D dice, and I happen to have some D&D dice, so there they are. And it's like a game, sort of. It's a game of art. So we're going to roll it into existence here. First, we're going to roll for, let's see, what our basic creature is. I got a 5, which is a type of bird. And on table 2, it's some kind of farm fowl. And the example they give is a rooster, but I'm thinking maybe a pheasant might be cool. I think pheasants have, and you don't have to actually literally draw the thing. Maybe you take inspiration from a feathery pattern. So pheasant, and then mushroom, and then, well, this is an 8-sider. 5 galaxy form, and then whatever the technical set is. 5 tool list. And I got an 8, so I got shears or scissors. So, and I hope I brought a pencil. And I thought we could do this in colored pencil too, but I'm going to start with regular pencil. First of all, this is a brand new sketchbook. So let's go ahead and put 9/13/2025. And we've got pheasant, mushroom or fungus, galaxy, and what's the last one? Scissors or shears. Okay, so now that we have all that kind of worked out, let's find some reference materials. I'm actually already imagining some kind of bird that has big, big scissor-like beak, like a spoonbill or something. So hang on. I think a spoonbill might be awesome. Yeah, spoonbills are just cool looking birds. So maybe we take a spoonbill and we give it a more resplendent tail, right? A lot of interesting images of this spoonbill already. Oh, I like this one. Okay. Tell you what. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what's the angle of the bird's feet, and then maybe we can find a pheasant. Oh yeah, pheasants have those really cool kind of individual feathers, and normally they're kind of striped. We might give it something more galaxy-like or fungus-like. I don't think you have to use every single one of the things in the book here. Oh, you're supposed to do it twice. Oh, check it out. Okay, so this is how you're supposed to do it. You roll it up just like I did, and then you're supposed to pick and group a major form and a minor form. Well, I'm going to stick with this one for right now because I've already kind of started it. But we can still continue on. Let me go back to my spoonbill. Spoonbills are such interesting birds. You could have a spoonbill with a big fluff on the back. But normally that's not what they have. Maybe there's certain types of versions of the spoonbill that have that. Okay. Let's find some, how about a ballpoint pen? I happen to have. Oh, do you have that book? I see the Aves strigiformes. Yeah, you ever play with it? I think they're fun. I used to do it all the time, but I haven't done it in years. Messing around with Fantasy Genesis. Did you get it at Michael's? I think I got my first one at Michael's, and then I got there's actually a second one for making fantasy characters, and where you're rolling up costumes and stuff. And you can do all kinds of very cool stuff. And I've already kind of broken the rules. I didn't realize you had to roll twice and then combine elements. I just combined two elements that I thought were interesting, but I'm sure there's many ways you could play with it. In this case, my spoonbill pheasant mashup. This is the first time I've been streaming back with my webcam again. I had taken it off and I was using my old iPhone. And the iPhone is great, but it's just not good. It's not great for streaming for whatever reason. I mean, I could probably figure out a good way to do it. There's probably some kind of built-in app I could get. But it's real easy to just stream from the browser. All right, here we go. Now this would be a lot of fun if we did it in color. So I think we're going to get some color and mess with this. And I'm kind of tempted to get a brush out. To do some color. But one of the other elements was galaxied. I'm thinking of doing some kind of, maybe we do some kind of galaxy looking pattern with stars, make it kind of like a dark nebula blue with fluorescent orange or pink, like it's a outer space scene. I haven't done much traditional art lately, and I forget what I don't have. Like, I've just moved cross country, and so I've got my art supplies. Like, there's a over to my left. I'm looking at a giant plastic cabinet full of art supplies, but they're all just kind of jumbled in there, so I don't know what I have anymore. This might be fun to do with gel pens too. We could get some colored gel pens, which I think I saw some over there. All right, let's get some colored. Let's get some colored pencil. I think that might be the way to go. And I know I've got an eraser too. So let's see. Oh, I've got some markers. That's a possibility. Oh, this is kind of cool. I could do something with this. All right, let's see. Here's an eraser. And here's some of my colored pencils. It's not the whole collection, it's just a little bit of them. I found a cool stencil. Here's my eraser. And this is some of my colored pencils. I actually have 5 of these, and they're divided up by color, but not very well. So, you know, I've got kind of like warm colors together, you know, the various spectrums. So this is kind of like my purples to reds area, which is a good place to start. Let's start with, I can go with my darkest dark or my lightest light. Let's go with my lightest light. I'll choose this lavender light. Oh, I like that one too. Lavender light and wisteria to start with. And eventually we'll find something that contrasts. Oops. Okay. Well, that's looking pretty good. Now, of these two, which is the lightest? I'm going to guess it's this one. Okay, so this is galaxy-inspired colors. Although maybe it may not seem like that, at least at first. So I'm just basically coloring it purple. And you can go in any order. You can do the color first and then do the black outlines, the reverse coloring. Or colored pencil actually works really well right over a black ballpoint pen. I just moved. I think I mentioned earlier. I moved from Maryland back to Texas, where I'm from. And I bought a house using my veterans benefits. And it was a real struggle. I got through it. And then when I was here, there was, I didn't have any furniture, and I didn't have much in the way of, belongings. I mean, I had plenty of books and stuff like that. I've got my instruments. But let's try the other color. I probably could have swatched it out a little bit. This is definitely a brighter color. But when I arrived, I pretty much had to buy like flat pack furniture, stuff like that I had to assemble. And I ended up, over the course of a month, kind of hurting myself. So, which is fine. I hurt my back. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. So I kind of took it easy for a couple of days, and it all came back, and I'm all good now. I mean, I've been doing everything: yard work, putting together furniture, moving stuff, loading boxes, unloading boxes, tons of yard work. I already mentioned the yard work, but that's been a big deal. I've got a lot of weeds in the yard, and something about it just won't, I don't know what it is. I can't leave them. Got to clean those weeds out. So I'm out there like pulling weeds up today. Then it started raining. So I'm like, thankfully, I can go in now. Comics are going really well. Fantasy art in general is going really well. Even just in the interim period from when I moved, I actually got a couple of commissions and turned them in, like finished the art. That's pretty good. It's kind of like I was on the road when it happened. All right, how do we contrast with this pink here? Let's take a look at my colors. I can go purple. I've got a brown, and I've got a dark blue. I'm thinking I might go dark blue on the beak. And we might be able to do some kind of patterning on the feathers. If we want to make these like pheasant feathers, they have a sort of a stripe pattern. This would be a great way to come up with like monsters for D&D. You know, you just get real creative with what you're drawing, you know, what you're making, what you're inventing. And then you sort of give it assign it a name and maybe think about what unique qualities or powers it might have, if any. Let's go back to my, where's that brown? And then there's the brown. We refuse to use plain black to shade things with, although we're using it in the ink, I guess. Plain black to white. But it's all good. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get a music stream to kind of pump in here. There's so many. This is definitely because of the rise of AI. There's so many like music streams that are just completely AI. So there's no copyright or anything like that. And if you're just wanting to do some ambient, you know, background sounds, it's a pretty good deal. All right. Kind of like all these, we got to think of a background color. And then maybe we'll do like a white outline around them. One idea I have is this purple or violet. Oh, I know what this color is. This is called violet. I call this a grape color. Looks like a grape soda color. I've got to order a drafting table because I'll have more room then. Anyway, the fun thing about sketchbooking is you don't have to impress anybody. It's just for the pure fun of creating. And who doesn't love that? All right, nice. If I can come up with a cool way to make this a routine, I will make this a regular stream or something. Maybe my drawing will improve. Or we can try out different coloring techniques or art techniques. I've been watching a ton of printmaking videos on Instagram. Printmaking is off the chain right now. Lots of people are doing it and doing really interesting things with it. Don't know why it's so compelling, but it is. Okay. There's some purple. Let's throw a different color on there to give it some depth. Maybe like a pink, or this one's called Blushing Rose. The thing about colored pencil is if you just use a single color, it's very pure, but it lacks depth. Colored pencil is interesting when you layer it. Some people do these really amazing photorealistic things with colored pencil, which I'm not as interested in photorealism. But I am interested in depth, the color depth. All right, where's our dark purple? I think it's this one. Okay. Alrighty. Throwing down some grape soda color. I think the next one I'll do, I'm going to try and do it by the book. Basically roll up 2 sets of attributes and then mix and match from there. And if nothing else, we'll have a swell color sketchbook. All right, starting to get somewhere. One thing we could also do is we could also use some markers to do some of the shading. Maybe like a light gray marker. I'm all about trying different things. Hang on. All right, hang on. Okay, where's that pink? Here we go. It has kind of an analog painted look to it, you know, when you start to mix colors like this. Nice, okay. All right, let's see what I got of gray markers. Here's one right here. This is one of my eco lines. And this might be good as well. Okay, now these are both water-based markers. This is an eco line. This is a really cool watercolor marker. It's a little bit darker than I'd like, and then this one is a very light gray, I think, water-based marker. This one's super light gray. I don't know if you can see it right here. This one, a darker gray. Which we could use both. Let's start with our, it's probably best to start with the light gray one, right? None of these colored pencils should be water soluble. I don't think these are like watercolor pencils. but they might be. I don't think they are. I'm looking at the one. I have them all out here, and I don't think they are. So if I screw this up, it's on me. It's my own fault. That's okay. All right, now I got the darker one. Yeah, we can get some dark depth from this wing over there. Maybe the beak should be darker. Another possibility is to do something on the background, but I think this is fine. Let's leave it like it is and say this is a done deal. Do I have a white marker or a white pen somewhere? I do. I don't know if this works, but it's a white pen. All right, so let's give it a try. That might work. It kind of works. It kind of works. So we'll give it a little, first of all, we'll sign it if that works. Fold. Some stars in the background. Okay. Shall we do something else? Let's take another shot. And we're going to use these same colors, but in a different way on the next one. Okay. Game sheet. Here it is. The first set is the veggie set. I don't know if you can see it right here. I'm pointing at it. No, the anima set. Okay. You got to roll a d6. 4. I got a reptile list, and then it's a d4. 4. Some kind of turtle. Right? So let's put turtle. And then we're doing 2 lists. So let's do another roll on this one. 1, which is sea life, and that's a d12. 2. Crab or lobster? Let's do a crab. Next up, the vegetable set. I got fungus again, some kind of ooze or jelly. Okay. 3, fungus again. I got ooze again. An oozarian. Elementals and minerals, I got liquid. Icicles. Icicles. Next up is astral and atmospheric. And I got cloud. And then finally, technical set. Tool list, and it's actually 2d6 instead of a 1d6. So I got a brush, and then nuts or bolts. Okay. Then what? Rules to be broken. Tips on free-form imagination. I like the turtle idea. I like the crab idea. I like both of the animals. That's just one of those things. Maybe I should be thinking about, I don't know. An ooze turtle. Maybe an ice turtle with icicles on them. Let's take a look at a turtle reference real quick. Turtle or tortoise. Okay, so where's the ice come in? This totally feels like a D&D monster too. So we could do the ice kind of building up on his back, maybe. Something like that. Let's mess with our ink again. I might have to go back and find a lighter colored set of blue. I was thinking about using my same colors here, though. Anyways, if you are new here, please like, follow, and subscribe. I'm a guy trying to improve his art, my comic art. You can see I do non-live, but although this kind of proves the concept that I could do it live if I wanted to, digital art for my comic. Just about anything that I do that's production, I have to do digital. I don't have a good enough scanner. I think my new printer actually does have a built-in scanner, but it's not very big, and so, at the size that I would want to be doing stuff, I'm scanner deprived. To somehow create some kind of three-dimensionality for these ice crystals up on top of the tortoise. My initial instinct was to use the same colors, but now I'm thinking maybe some light blue, to get the cold look. So it has an icy look to it. I should hold off on doing too much black ink just because it'll be harder to erase later on. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close. All right, this may end up smearing this. I hope it doesn't. Oh, so far so good. Most of our pencil lines have gone away. Okay, oh, that sounds pretty good. All right, so let's dominate with the color. I've got this Prussian blue, but I could use it kind of lightly as a light blue. I've also got, well, I've got this color, which is called Heather. Let's stick to those. Well, this is almost like a very dark blue. It's Prussian blue. I should have known better. But it's actually fine. Just realized I didn't have a holding line over there. Just trying to think of the shading from inside the shell. And then shade can also be used to sort of describe the volume of your form. See how it's going around the leg? So we get the idea that it's a round leg. So that's another good way to do it. The thing with colored pencils is you want to start off light. Eventually, you're going to go in and break your fingers and just go in and go in hard. I was watching Scott Sava. I watch him a lot, even though I disagree with him on a lot of stupid things. But he has no problem going in hard, like right away. And I kind of respect that. I think that's kind of cool because it's against everything everybody else says. And his stuff comes out looking great. And he doesn't do colored pencils as much anymore, but it used to be his main medium. I think he's more of a watercolorist now. But I can respect that. Same deal here. We're picking out what we think are the facets, even if they're invisible facets that don't have a black line on them. And of course, the most important thing is always to just have fun. Even if what you're doing doesn't come out perfect, that's okay. It's just a sketchbook. Man, if your sketchbook looks too good, people will say, hey, this isn't a sketchbook. This is a finished art. And they don't understand. It's just because you got lucky a few times. It's great when you get lucky when you're in your sketchbook. Okay, that's all one color so far. Let's give it some of this heather color. Since we're trying to draw ice, I think it's okay to have the pure white still sit in there. Seems okay to me. Huh, okay. It's kind of working. I think the blue is a little bit too dark of a blue. That's okay. We're going to continue layering colors in. Let's throw in some of this pink. Creative chromatic aberration of sorts. Just around a few places, just around some of the edges. And we definitely got a magic crystal thing going on now at this point. Pink and blue make purple of sorts. We're leaving enough white space to allow actual pink to kind of show through as well. I do have plenty of purples I could throw on. You could call this, that heather color, as a bit of a purple color. And I'm trying to think of a contrasting color I could use for the eye. Out of the ones I have here, maybe one of the grape color or something like that. Or maybe what I'll get is I have a fluorescent pink that I could throw in there. Not this pink, but I actually have literal fluorescent pink. I got a set of fluorescent colors, and it's only a few. And so this one is a Koh-i-Noor fluorescent dry marker, and it will fluoresce under black light. So maybe, just maybe, some of that pink kind of gives it a bit of an accent. Well, makes for a nice purple though too. Okay. Let's go in with our gray, do some shading. Might be a little bit hard to tell what's happening with my gray marker. Let's see. Okay. Well, that might be our 2 drawings for tonight. Could still mess around with these. All right. This was fun. I want to get back into the swing of things. I'm ordering, I still haven't ordered my art desk, my drafting desk. Gotten it set up. But I'm organizing things to where I have more room. So that should be happening soon. Maybe we could do this with a bit more regularity. I'm going to try it again tomorrow as well. Let's throw some pink background tones. All right. I actually kind of like that. There it is. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some outlining. Maybe just to the shell. This is kind of an old marker, so I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't able to hang in there. Oh well. It is what it is. All right. Very good. Please like, follow, subscribe, and there will be more art every day. Talk to you later. And